Thank you very much, dear friends. I also have with me Mr. Praveen Director, the leader of the answer. Dear Rotarians, truly privileged to be amongst you. My apologies that I could not reach at the slated time, which is I think 4 o'clock or thereabouts. But just about a couple of hours ago, we got information that Mr. Amit Shahji will be coming to campaign for me on Sunday the 12th. So we have to have an emergency meeting to activate the preparations for his meeting and therefore for his visit to Mumbai, and therefore my apologies that you had to wait. But I'm quite impressed that I didn't know Rotarians will wait so long. Road पे लगा, then they said बहुत late हो गया था. I said तो चलो फिर वापस चलते. I thought everything is gone away. That's what I thought he's come to tell me at the gate. But truly delighted to be amongst family, amongst fellow Rotarians. Compliments on the fact that you have 5 clubs over. 6 has boycotted it or something? Or is that a comment? Friends, I don't want to get into the history of the work that was done before 14, what happened after 14. All of you are very wise men and women. I'll just share a small historical reality, statistical fact, and I'll leave the rest for you all to judge what we should do, what we should not do. I'm not necessarily going to be appealing for votes here. You're all very learned people. Fellow Rotarians, I'm assuming, will be learned, right? Just look back and accept the young kids. There are not too many kids here except maybe him, most others here, will be remembering the way the situation was in 1998. The country was in a dire crisis in every which way. Our forex reserves were down to $29 billion. Growth was down to 4%. Inflation was extremely high. In 98, if I remember correctly, interest rates had gone up to as high as 16-18%. If you're a defaulter, then 22-24%. And good companies. Today's almost MNCs were paying that kind of interest rates. Vajpayee came into government in 98. 6 years he ran government. And in a way, 2 terms. First was only 1.5 years. Then he lost the government with 1 vote. Please don't ever forget, 1 vote has value. Each one of you remember our C.P. Joshi was announced as Chief Minister of Rajasthan by the Congress Party a couple of decades ago. He was contesting the election to become Chief Minister. It was very hot in the afternoon, went home, lunchtime, family hadn't voted. Telling his family members, don't worry, it's too hot outside. You need not vote, मैं तो जीत रहा. The family did vote, he lost by 1 vote. MLA election. 1 vote से आ रहे, उस टाइम भी चीफ मिनिस्टर नहीं बने, आज तक चीफ मिनिस्टर नहीं बने. मेरा ये हाल मत बना देना. Every vote matters. Atalji lost his government by 1 vote. But bear in mind, fortunately the people of India re-elected him in 99 and he ran his government in 2004. What did he do in 6 years? From $29 billion forex reserves, he increased it to $104 billion. Only in 6 years. More than 3 times. Growth rates which were down to 4%. In 2003, it had risen to 8.4% at constant price. By 2004, India was a trade surplus country. Our current account was in surplus. Whereas before that, every year for years we had been in deficit. Interest rates had come down with 5 equal to even as low as you could get a home loan for 6%, a business loan for about 9-10%. If any of you bought a house during the 2002 to 2004 period, on a floating rate it had come down to as low as 6%. Fixed rate maybe 6.5%. The lucky guys bought the house at that time. I'm just sharing with you in 6 years how we transformed India. We became a nuclear power, thanks to Vajpayee. But शायद थोड़ी सी चूक रह गई, और चूक कहाँ रह गई? मुंबई जैसे शहरों में. All the cities who were the biggest beneficiaries of Vajpayee's good governance, we lost the elections. Think back, Ram Naik also lost the election in 2004. A seat like Uttar Mumbai, हमारा बाल किला, and we lost. And to an actor. He's now with the Shiv Sena, if I'm not mistaken. So, भटकते सब लोग ठीक जगह पे पहुंचते जा रहे हैं. Everybody is realizing that what is good for the nation is good for them also. पर आप सोचिए, we had 142 seats, Congress had 149. 7 सीटों का फर्क था. And we lost all the seats across the country in metros and top cities, Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi, all the cities which were considered our strongholds, we lost. And we got the UPA government. They call themselves India Alliance now. But it's the same set of people. Not much difference between what they were in 14 and what they are today. Of course, I don't know if there is an alliance because they seem to be fighting in cats and dogs with each other. Kerala, you heard the comments that CPM leaders had for Congress and vice versa. So much so that now Rahul Gandhi is sure is going to lose by now. So he's looking for a perch in Raebareli. He doesn't realize Yogi is sitting there. In fact, my advice to him was he should fight 4-5 seats all across the country. Kabhi-kabhi tukka lag jata. But I'm just cautioning you. Small mistakes. Maybe some of you felt lazy. Maybe some of you felt India is shining and everything is hunky-dory. So हमने नहीं किया वोट तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है? Whatever. Sadly, we lost all the cities, despite giving some of the best government, honest government which improved our infrastructure, golden quadrilateral, all of that happened in that period. Government which gave you good growth, strong economy, infrastructure at its best, all the ingredients of a good government Vajpayee did. But we lost in 4. And 10 years you saw the amount of corruption scandals. You saw that from a strong economy, we had dwindled down to a fragile 5 economy by 14. You heard the name? Fragile 5. We were the weakest 5 में से भारत का नाम. आप इंडियन पासपोर्ट लेके बाहर जाते होंगे पहले भी. आज जो इज्जत मिलती है पहले मिलती थी क्या? People look up to you now. Oh, you're Indian. They know that we are the growth engine of the world today. We inherited in 14 not only the tag of fragile 5, but foreign exchange reserves which were abysmally low. आपको कोई फाइनेंस के लोग हैं यहाँ पे? आप 2013 अगस्त गूगल करना बाद में आप ट्राई करो. August 2013, our forex reserves were down to 6 months. Rupee had gone down to 68 rupees to a dollar. And Chidambaram was forced to do an FCNRB borrowing 2% over the normal rate in foreign currencies, a hell of a lot of money. Chidambaram didn't pay, you and I taxpayers paid that money. And just to shore up the rupee and artificially bring it down to 58, he borrowed $30 billion at 2% over the bank rate. What we were normally borrowing, India was borrowing. Growth rate was down to 4% again. Vajpayee took from 4 to 8.4. Chidambaram and Congress brought it back to 4. Vajpayee increased forex reserves 3x. They brought us back to barely 6 months forex reserves and a very shaky situation. I don't need to tell you about inflation. We were at double digit almost all of 9, 10, 10, 11, 11, 12. And even when they left in 14, it was 8 or हमें पूछते आप महंगाई, when we are down to below 5%, और हमारे ऊपर आरोप लगाती है ये कुछ युवराज नेता जो जगह बुझ रहे हैं. Inflation was down, inflation was up, interest rates were up, growth rates were down, forex reserves were in trouble. They left behind huge amount of unpaid bills, oil bonds and whatnot, food subsidy unpaid since that department is okay and single, 12 lakh crores of corruption scandals. And certainly you guys are well to do, but you don't buy toilet rolls at 40,000 rupees a piece, do you? Anybody here? Commonwealth Games, 40,000 bucks. और वो घर ऐसे बनाए कॉमनवेल्थ गेम्स में कि आज तक ये है उसमें तो रहने को जा नहीं सकता, इतना बुरा क्वालिटी ऑफ कंस्ट्रक्शन. Circa 2014 to 24, in 10 years, despite inheriting such a dire state of affairs, growth is back up from 4% to 8%, or 7.8 is the latest IMF estimate. Forex reserves are at an all-time high of $650 billion plus. The other day I was talking to the world's largest investment fund CEO in Frisco, and I asked him, what worries you in India? He said, the only thing that worries me is that Modi will not win again. I said, do you expect that? He said, no, we don't expect that. He said, then anything else? He said, nothing else. You have one way up. I said, what about foreign currency? I asked him, what about foreign currency, rupee dollar parity? He says, you're the most stable in the world. You have absolutely no concerns about the Indian rupee. And the confidence with which he was talking about the Indian economy made me proud as a colleague of Mr. Modi or as a member of the government of India and as a citizen of India. Growth is back up. Inflation for the last 10 years is the lowest in India's independent history. About 5.25% is the average inflation for 10 years, जो आज तक भारत के इतिहास में कभी नहीं हुआ. Interest rates today यूक्रेन वॉर की वजह से और ये inflation थोड़ा बढ़ा, we are slightly up, but I see the cycle turning now. With inflation at 4.8% probably now, that cycle has to turn. We have all the ingredients necessary for taking India to become a developed nation, a prosperous nation by 2047. But for one fear, what the gentleman told me, that Modi doesn't come back. I'm not trying to scare you. Whatever I've been to many states now campaigning. I see my own constituency, when it was impressive, come to Burindi just now. कहाँ से शुरू करें बात? अभी की यात्रा इलेक्शन कमीशन वाले बता रहे हैं, वो भी आएंगे हमारे साथ. You can come and see the response of the people if anybody is interested at Ravalpada just now. The whole, it seems the whole area seems to be on the ground, on the footpaths of the rally. That's the kind of response we're getting, whether it's slums, whether it's buildings. People are just so much wanting to see Modi win. And we are all representatives of Modi, all of us who as members of parliament. But the idea today that is attracted people is we want Modi to be back there, to take us to that prosperity and make the country a great nation. But the biggest fear is whether people will come out to vote. Biggest fear is whether all of you will find Monday as an excuse for a 3-day break in Makabo. The biggest fear is the overconfidence. तो मोदी तो जीतते रहे और ये सीट में तो रिकॉर्ड मार्जिन में जिधर जाता हूँ रिकॉर्ड मार्जिन में तो लगता है. So my honest appeal to you, in 10 years, Mr. Modi has brought us from the 11th largest economy to the 5th largest economy. Gone is the fragile fine line. In another few years, we will be the 3rd largest economy. We have an under 30 population. Next 30 years, we are expected to be under 30, a young population. We'll add $30 trillion to our economy in less than 30 years. that is the India to which we all belong. But bad leadership, bad government, corruption, appeasement politics, freebies, they can all once again mess things up. What we saw from 4 to 14. I leave the thought with you, ladies and gentlemen, what your role will be to make sure that an accident doesn't happen. And those who don't learn from the lessons of history do so at their own peril. I think we've all heard that. So friends, my request is, it's not about my fellow Rotarians alone from the 6 clubs as I stand corrected, but it's about your families, your friends, your neighbors, the people you work with, your suppliers, your locality, your building. It's about whether we believe in India. What is our contribution? After all, Mr. Modi has been working relentlessly for 50 years. Never taken any time. Last 10 years, you see the punishing schedule we have handled. At times visiting 7 countries in 5 days. And each of these are strenuous. I do a lot of travel myself. These are strenuous travels. Each meeting you have to be careful. One word here and there, we can mess up the India image. But today's India, if I may take a chant from the Onida ad, today's India is owner's pride. And I am sure each Rotarian present here wants it to remain that way. Thank you very much. I leave the thought with you. 20th is not too far away. I appeal to you, spread the word if you believe in it. Let your ecosystem know. Each one of you is a walking directory. Your mobile phone would be having tons of numbers, tons of contacts. I request you, spread the message. Everybody needs to vote early morning, otherwise the day gets shorter. Then the CP Joshi element comes in. So please make sure not only you, but your entire ecosystem and as many people as you can influence. Look at it as a national duty. Look at it as an opportunity to shower our blessings on Prime Minister Modi, who I'm sure each one of you will agree has done the nation proud, has served the nation honorably, and has prepared the foundation on which in the years to come, in the Amrit Kaal, we will build a tall skyscraper, transforming the lives of 140 crore Indians. Thank you.